Mr. Mayor, Mamaroneck, sorry, sir. We're grateful for your time at this moment. We have some video from Facebook of trash piled up in your streets, and we understand from you yesterday the town picked up 3 months worth of trash in one single day. Where are you today in terms of just the clean up the mess to try to turn the page?
Well, John, thanks for having me on. We are still in the process of restoration and recovery. You know, we anticipate picking up that amount of trash for the next few days at least. We have homes that had 12 feet of water. We have people that are devastated. We have hundreds of people who are out of their home. We have people staying in Red Cross shelters. I can't give enough credit to the DPW and the emergency services of this community. We have an all-volunteer fire department that has saved many, many lives. We did over 150 water rescues. And we have hundreds of people still out of their homes, and it's going to take us a while to recover. But this is a community that looks out for each other, and there's been a great generosity and support from people who haven't been affected to those who have, and that gives me hope.
Just last hour, the President of the United States approved the New York Disaster Declaration. I know that was one of the things you said was needed from Washington. How will that help the people of your community?
That's going to help right away. You know, we got in contact with Senator Schumer's office the second we heard about that. We are going to offer the Village of Mamaroneck as a staging area for FEMA. We have already sent out information to our residents about how they can apply, both businesses and individuals, to get some relief from FEMA. You know, as often happens, John, this has affected the people on a lower economic scale the hardest. People that have the least resiliency. So we want to get them up and running. We want to get their kids back in school. We want to make their families whole again.
The President comes that way tomorrow, stops in New Jersey, stops then in New York City. What do you need to hear from the President right now? Is this more a moment of which help is on the way, specific promises, or more that the President of the United States is there to show he cares?
Well, I'm very glad the President of the United States is there to show he cares, and the emergency declaration is really going to be helpful. What this community needs more than anything else, John, we were promised an Army Corps of Engineer plan a few years back, and under the Trump administration, it was canceled. We have our senators and our congressman, Jamal Bowman, all pushing to get that into, hopefully, I heard you talk about the infrastructure bill. Hopefully they can get that into the infrastructure bill this year and finally give some relief to the people of this community who have been suffering for generations this kind of flooding. But it just gets worse. You know, the floods used to come every 20, 25 years. Now they're coming every 3, 4, and 5 years. And as we know from global warming, we're a community on the Long Island Sound, and it's going to hit us harder and harder in the decades to come. So, I beseech.
Forgive me interrupting, but I want to talk specifically about that. I want you to listen here. This is the FEMA director, and Cedric Richmond, who's one of the president's top advisors in the White House, talking about what you're just talking about, that the world has changed, that these storms, these floods are coming way more often. Listen.
I think this is going to be our new normal. We saw intense weather events in 2017. Last year was a record number of hurricanes and a record wildfire season.
These once-in-a-century storms are starting to come almost every other year. They're bigger, they're stronger, they wreak more havoc.
So what is the challenge, whether you're the President of the United States, or the United States Congress, or the mayor of a village, in the sense that the philosophy used to be, these come every 50 or 100 years, we'll clean up, we'll deal with it, and then we'll have 50 or 100 years till it happens again. Now it's happening, as you noted, every couple of years. What do you need to change at the local level, whether it's zoning, whether it's business restrictions, whether it's how close to the water people can live, and what kind of help you need from Washington?
We're going to need possibly help in the future. We're strengthening our infrastructure to withstand these storms. We've had a lot of infrastructure of the community, the fire department, and mental health facilities that we have in this community that was severely damaged. So we're going to need help from the federal government rebuilding those. But we also need help. We have seawalls that need to be raised. We have sewers that were built 100 years ago. We're an old suburb. We're one of the first suburbs outside of New York City. So all our infrastructure that we're relying on, some of it was built, during the WPA, and some of it, was built before that. So we really need help from the federal government to get back on our feet and future, because we can't abandon communities like Mamaroneck, New York. This is a vital community of 20,000 people, one of the most diverse communities in New York. We need to look out for each other the same way we pay tax dollars to help New Orleans survive this storm by strengthening their levees, and I have no problem with that. I think we should all look out for each other, but now it's our turn where folks need to look out for us. People in my community have suffered long and hard, and they really need a break. And I'm really hopeful that President Biden, being the empathetic man that he is, and the wonderful people that we have representing us in Congress, that we can get the ball into the end zone this time.
Mr. Mayor, appreciate your time. I know you're very busy right now dealing with this crisis. Please keep in touch in the weeks and months ahead as you go through your checklist to see if what you promised and what you need are being delivered. We'd like to continue that conversation. Appreciate it, sir.
I certainly will, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Up next for us today.